Welcome to Tea and Shenanigans.
The tinfoil hat edition.
Yes, today we decided to mix it up a little bit, and instead of just going on and on about what usually ends up just being all about, Harry and Meghan, the gruesome twosome, we thought we'd mix it up, do something a little more fun today. We are going to be discussing royal conspiracy theories.
Yes.
And we both have brought our
crazier and weirder, the better.
Yeah, some of them I found. Some of them I've heard, most people have heard of them. Others are just, our kids saying this anymore, it's whack.
I don't know if anyone says that.
I don't think so, but I just did. Okay, you want to just get straight into it? So,
yes.
But of course, thank you to everyone that's been listening. New subscribers, we're glad you're here. We hope you enjoy this because this is our first attempt at this tinfoil hat thing. If you like it, let us know and we can continue on. I'm sure there's more. Or we'll just make it up ourselves. I mean, what the heck? It's a conspiracy theory, right?
They don't have to be based in any kind of fact.
They have to originate someplace. So I don't mind us being
originate some.
Yes. Okay, but let's
I don't think we're doing that today,
No.
but we could.
So I came across this article from Marie Claire. It's from 2018, so it's going back a little ways, but there's some good stuff in here. Okay. So we'll just get into it. So number one, and I'm very
These
close.
are like the top hits for the British royal family.
Yeah, this is all the Brits.
Okay.
And if you have more to add, I think you said you had some.
I've got an old one.
Okay, excellent.
Which isn't so much a conspiracy theory. It's a bunch of different options for what could have happened to somebody.
That's intriguing. Okay, hold on to that. So number one on this list, Meghan Markle is a robot. And supposedly someone or someone's, you say it that way, arrived at this conclusion because, and again, this article was written back in 2018. So at this point, they're still part of the royal family doing royal duties and all that. So apparently there was a video going around showing them, Harry and Meghan, in the audience of Britain's Got Talent. It was the finale. And it shows her where she does not blink or show facial expressions at all. I don't know how long this clip was. I don't know if they're saying the entire time she was there she didn't do that. I have no idea. But she to me is a crazy psycho, so it's possible, she could be one of those people that never blinks. But is she a robot? I don't know, because I feel,
although that could be an acting skill.
You think
I've
that's a
trained
thing?
For years to not blink,
not moving anything. Yeah.
But the real question is, if she was, where was she then?
Exactly.
Or are they saying she's always a robot, or that she has a robot she sends to do things she doesn't want to do?
No, she is a robot.
Oh,
there is no real person. Okay. Which, I mean,
then the question is, who made her and what is their evil plan?
Yeah. Did they screw up and the robot got out of the lab and now we're all, cursed with this being, this thing out there? I don't know.
It's a Frankenstein situation.
Yeah.
We've had a breach.
A robot. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I feel like a robot would be smarter, but whatever. Anyway, so there's that one.
But if she was a robot, she'd only be like, whenever she started showing up in Hollywood, that's how old she is. She's like, never mind. Moving on.
I don't know, man. Oh gosh, you'd think a robot would know how to, dress better. Their programming.
But why would a robot know that?
I don't know. It's supposed to be like some kind of artificial intelligence thing. I don't know. Whatever, dude. Okay, next. And this one really, I think I LOL'd, laughed out loud for sure on this one because I hadn't heard it. Okay. Prince Harry married Meghan Markle to gain control over America. The ginger idiot married Meghan Markle, the robot, mind you, to gain control over America. Now listen to how a person lays this out.
Okay.
There was someone who tweeted back in November of 2018, I believe it was, and said, Prince Harry's kids will be Americans, which is technically true.
Yes.
What if one grows up to be president and is in line for the throne at the same time?
Wow, that's deep.
And he goes on, hold that, it gets better.
Okay.
Brits are playing long ball here, but it's a smart move. They want America back, and this is how they'll do it. They don't want America back. I wouldn't either at this point. So no, that's not it. Also, you're crazy. And this is lunacy, but also, when someone's mind works this way, it fascinates me. Never mind that there's only, I want to know what the exact percentage is of people from any given generation who end up being president. There's only ever like, maybe 2 or 3 from an entire generation.
Yeah.
So, okay, whatever.
Less than that if they keep being, 1,000 years old when they're elected.
That's true. We're on trend for that.
Every generation just gets, like 10 and then 0, 0, 0, 0. 1, 0, 1, 10.
I mean, our current one is like what? He's on death's door. Good Lord. Everybody's. When did we start? I don't want to get political, but why in the world is everybody in their 80s? I mean, like.
Everyone that's elected? In
our country, anyway. It's
old.
bizarro world over here. It's like Congress has turned into a nursing home. It's some ridiculous nonsense. Anyways.
Oh, okay. But, so they're playing this long game to take the White House and Buckingham Palace.
Yes.
And so if that worked out, they would only have the White House for a maximum of 8 years.
Well, I guess what he's saying is that once they're president, they will
reunite.
Yes,
the
and then there will be no more 4-year. They won't be president. They'll just be king of or queen of the UK
everything,
and whatever.
The whole English-speaking world.
That's right. They're definitely playing the long game.
But what about this? I know we're not supposed to bring up reality, but American citizens can't hold titles of nobility.
Again, this is well, that's true, and people have often brought that up about Harry and Meghan.
Back in the past, they foresaw that some hideous conspiracy like this could happen in the future, and they preempted it.
I don't know. I mean, it's laughable that Harry and Meghan have given titles to their children, especially the daughter because she was born here. Like Americans, you can't be a prince or a prince. Like anyway.
Those are the official rules. You can have what's it called? Honorary title.
Sure. You want to be an honorary prince? Go for it. Knock yourself out. It's like Americans that are given knighthoods. They're honorary knights. Yeah. Like I heard a news thing the other day about who was it? Oh, I know. What's his face from Disney? Bob Iger, the current president. He's being given an honorary knighthood.
Why?
I don't know. Queen Elizabeth did it before she passed away, and he's just now having the ceremony, the investiture,
must have given somebody a bunch of money.
I don't know. Why would you give that? Who cares? Why would you give that dude? Anyway, I just thought it was really random. But when I heard him say honorary, I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Stuff in Parliament now. So, like, if you paid for enough people's campaigns, you could get a knighthood.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not getting into that.
Or if you guaranteed their children good positions in your corporation or something.
I feel that's the way it works in most countries.
But that's the way it's always worked.
Yeah.
That's how you get royal titles.
Okay, let's get to the next one because I think it's fabulous.
You do somebody a favor.
A favor.
A favor.
You scratch my back, I scratch yours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the way the system works.
Anyways, next on the list, Prince Charles, now King Charles, is a vampire. How can this be, you might ask? Well, some genealogy records state that Charles is a descendant of a 15th century Romanian prince, Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah.
Which we know to be the man who inspired
Dracula.
Exactly. So I don't know how that automatically makes him a vampire, but whatever.
Well, I guess if you're assuming that vampires can have children, then I guess by, it got passed down through the genes.
I don't know.
But if that's the case, what about all the other ones? All of his ancestors, why aren't they still alive?
Yeah, where are they?
Where are they?
They must be hiding out in the countryside in one of the many homes or I don't know.
Haunting graveyards or something.
Whatever. Okay, next.
Next.
You said you'd heard of this one. Queen Elizabeth I was actually a man.
I've heard that one, yes.
So, according to this, as a child, young Lady Elizabeth fell ill and died while playing at her family's lodge in England. Just hours before her father, King Henry VIII, was scheduled to pay a visit, and fearful that the king would behead them because he had a tendency to do this.
Her attendants.
Yeah. The servants dressed a neighborhood boy up to be
They
Elizabeth.
grabbed the nearest redhead and put him in a dress.
People say the boy grew up continuing the charade and that Queen Elizabeth's wardrobe and pledge to virginity during her reign were all tools to hide her true identity as a farm boy. Are they just trying to say they thought she was unattractive, or I don't know. Anyway.
Most people take the spin that it's people who couldn't accept the idea that a woman would be a successful ruler, so they had to make it a secret man.
That's funny. I hadn't heard that. Well, okay. Anyway, let people believe what they will. The next is, I thought I had heard all the conspiracies around Princess Diana. Apparently I had not.
Oh, dear.
So get this. Get this. Charles and Diana have a secret daughter through IVF, also known as in vitro fertilization. How could this be, you might ask? Well, some believe that Charles and Diana had a daughter before the birth of Prince William, and that she's named Sarah and lives incognito in a small New England town. So in the US, supposedly.
Why?
The story is that before Diana could marry Charles, the Queen ordered her to undergo fertility tests to make sure she could have children, and that during the tests, there's so many holes in this. I want to know more from the person that originated this. During the test, her eggs were fertilized, and a doctor secretly stole the embryo and implanted it into his wife, who then subsequently, I suppose, gave birth to this child, and then sent her away to a New England village.
But why?
I don't know. Why? Why would, if this happened, why wouldn't the child be raised as the child of the doctor and his wife, and no one?
Exactly.
It makes no sense. Anyways, so that was a funny one.
Somebody was up really late and was really bored.
Somebody was on like LSD or something and was like, oh, you know what? I don't even know if that's how that works, but some kind of substance that just makes you think you have these brilliant ideas, and suddenly you're just seeing the world, the truth, right in front of you. I don't know.
It's out there.
Okay, next. Okay. Queen Elizabeth II was an extraterrestrial reptile.
I've heard that one too.
Okay. Conspiracy theorists and former BBC sports reporter claims that certain members of the elite, like Queen Elizabeth II, are, okay, there's some word, Anunnaki? A band of reptile humanoids.
A particular kind of alien.
The
reptile.
Lizard people.
Wow.
Oh, I've heard of this. Lizard people. Okay. The lizard people
that's
are
what I've
world
heard.
leaders and public figures, and they are responsible, he claims, for 9/11 and the Holocaust. The lizard people.
But once again, why?
That's what gets left unanswered.
And if they're lizard people, I'm assuming that they're all prosthetic up. So does that mean that their successor is just the same lizard person in a new outfit?
I don't know. That's not explained. I need the lizard people for dummies on this. I have no idea. Next is a common one. We've all heard this, in my opinion. Allegedly, it could be true.
What?
It's likely to be true. Prince Harry is not Prince Charles' son. There's more evidence for that than pretty much everything else on this. I'm not saying it's true, but I'm just saying there's more. It's far more likely that that's true than all this other stuff.
But if it was, it would have been in the book.
Okay, so if you haven't heard this, if you're listening to this, I'm sure you've heard this at some point. Some speculate that Prince Harry is actually the son of James Hewitt, who was a former lover or whatever of Princess Diana while she was still married to Charles. People cite the fact that James Hewitt is a redhead like Harry. Charles is not. Cosmopolitan published parallel photos of Harry and Hewitt alongside each other, and they have a lot of they did it at one point, and apparently they have a lot of similarities.
But all these people are English, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're all probably like, fourth or sixth
related
cousins.
I know. Anyways,
no, I'm not meaning to stereotype all English people, but they are like, the nobility and the like rich people who all live in London, and
different from the average person.
they all can kind of marry in the same circle.
Then people claim that Harry actually gets his looks and is similar in appearance to Princess Diana's brother Charles Spencer.
Oh,
which maybe. Who knows?
I've never seen him.
Here's a photo right there. That's him.
I
could see it.
Where'd the red hair come from?
But the thing is, that's taking from his mother's side. That still doesn't rule out the possibility of the father thing, okay?
But also, where'd the red hair come from?
I don't know if it's from her family, maybe, I'm not sure. That's what people say. See, you're asking the right question. You're asking the right question. But
also, you know, red hair can just kind of appear in some families.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay, next. This is another one a lot of people have heard. Some people absolutely believe this is true. I don't know. Princess Diana was pregnant when she tragically died.
I've heard that one too.
Of course, assuming the father was her, I don't know, boyfriend sounds so childish, when she was involved with Dodi Fayed. And people speculate that was part of the reason. Leads into another conspiracy theory that the royal family had her done away with.
But the question is, why would they bother?
Well, they say
they were divorced.
But
it was all done.
The future king of England would have a sibling that was neither completely, white English and also probably not Christian.
Okay.
I'm just saying that's what these conspiracy theorists, to me, it sounds ridiculous. Like, I just think it's crazy, but that's what people speculate, that they couldn't possibly, the royal family couldn't stand for such a thing.
I don't think it would have been that big a deal.
Oh, I don't either.
Well, obviously it wouldn't have been, but also I don't think they would have risked it. That's a stupid thing to be like crazy enough to want to kill somebody.
Well, Dodi Fayed's father, Muhammad, I think pretty much up to his death, continued to claim that it was true. I don't know. Poor man, everything he went through. I don't really blame him for feeling that, he had very strong feelings to the end. Don't blame him for that a bit. But this is not supposed to be a serious show. It's just, this is one of the big, people still talk about this and debate it like it's possible, and it's something that we'll never know.
Yeah.
But whatever. Of course, that leads into the next one, which is the royal family planned Diana's fatal car crash. We've all heard that one. Once again,
just why? They were pretty much already they were coming out of the whole mess. People were starting to just see Diana as Diana. She wasn't,
separate from the family.
Yeah,
she was her own thing. I get that. I think that's probably accurate.
Honestly, if she lived a little bit longer, I think she would have completely, kind of had her own separate brand from them.
Oh, that is definitely the direction it was going.
A little further out from the divorce and everything.
Yeah.
And then it wouldn't have mattered to them.
I speculate that as soon as her sons were of age and, could make their own decisions and, let's say, legally adults, I wouldn't have been surprised if that is Princess Diana, would have relocated to some other country to live, and
probably
not stayed in the UK, that type of thing, doing her own thing. But yeah.
She could have moved to California.
That's what a lot of people speculated. Yeah.
It's a precursor.
It's a what's that called in
foreshadowing?
Film? Yeah, foreshadowing. Exactly. Okay, next, and this is funny because of course I'm going to have my 2 little cents to put in on this. People claim, and this is funny again because this was written back in 2018, that a surrogate gave birth to Princess Charlotte. That is the daughter of Prince William and Princess, Catherine,
okay,
Princess of
Wales. I know that you've told me the reason for this, and it's because she looked too good.
They said she looked too good to have given birth.
Okay, here's the big thing.
That day or whatever.
Just Charlotte? There are 3 children. She's the middle one. Why did they think she looked a reasonable amount of not good or something?
Yeah,
after
with
she
the
had
other
the other two?
I've seen photos of her after giving birth to all 3 of them, and she looks better than most women on their best day after having just given birth to a child. So again, why would they just claim
why
Charlotte?
Just the one?
And it's funny to me because it's nonsense because of all of the proof and the evidence, and they followed the protocol when having royal children, and there's all kinds of stuff. We can get into that. And then you have the other 2 who didn't follow any of the protocol and have not provided an iota of the proof to dispel the, rumors that allegedly Meghan did not give birth to those children, which it's possible. I'm not saying it happened. I'm not saying she didn't have those children. She didn't carry those children, but it's just interesting, no? I'll just leave it at that. There's all kinds of, let's say, evidence or, room for speculation. But as I say, it's just speculation. Moving on.
There's all kinds of corkboard with yarn stretched across it.
Listen,
connecting all the pins.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, okay, next. This is going back in time quite a bit, but King Edward the 7th son was Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper, of course, one of the more famous serial killers way back in the day.
Prince Albert Victor.
Okay, right. So some scholars claim Prince Albert Victor, grandson of Queen Victoria and son of King Edward VII, was Jack the Ripper, the anonymous and infamous serial killer who committed 5 murders in London in 1888.
I've heard that one.
Okay. So there's that. Why? I guess a serial killer just for... Jack the Ripper's victims were often impoverished female prostitutes, writers. Okay, Some suspect Prince Albert committed the murders in sporadic illness-induced bouts of violence.
It's another one of those, the English royal family is insane and they're trying to cover up their homicidal attacks.
Yes. Okay, the next one, we kind of already covered this, but it's a little more specific. Princess Diana feared then Prince Charles was arranging a fatal car accident to kill her. Most of us that are, involved in this world have heard of the letter written by Diana to her former butler, apparently implying that she suspected that Charles was planning to kill her, do away with her in an accident in her car, and so on.
Wasn't that before the divorce?
No, because she wrote it, let's see, it says here 10 months before she actually did die in the car crash. I don't know, but again, it wasn't good for him. It was actually quite bad for him. So, no. Anyways, yeah. Well, we'll move on from that. Okay, the next one is interesting. Queen Elizabeth.
An old-timey one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Old-timey. What are you from? Old-timey? Ye old conspiracy theories? Like what?
Non-color photo.
Okay, anyways,
theories.
Queen Elizabeth I wrote all of Shakespeare's plays.
Oh, I've heard that one too.
Why? Because they're all dramatic and sappy?
I don't know.
So of course a woman would... I could see that.
I guess it just sounds more... they're not all dramatic and sappy.
I've never been a fan of Shakespeare. The language it's fascinating, but the stories themselves and the characters, whatever. I had to study all of that in university, and it was not my favorite thing. Anyways, this is what they say. Unlike most women at the time, Queen Elizabeth received a formal, extensive education, and some claim her insider understanding of royal life meant she could have written the plays credited to Shakespeare. There is little evidence for this, no kidding. But it would be fantastic. Would it, though? Would it?
Well, it would be, Shakespeare's plays are some of the most influential texts ever written in English.
Of course, that's true. You're right.
And the idea that a reigning queen not only was doing all of her stuff, but she also wrote some of the most influential texts ever written. That would be a big deal.
Yeah, I guess, most people know who Shakespeare is. But yeah, it's a shame these days that everyone knows of that from movies and pop culture stuff. But I guarantee you very few people have heard of, let's say, I know it's not the same time period, but Dickens or maybe that, but I don't know, Lord Byron, Tennyson, stuff like that.
Byron. Ugh.
Not a fan?
Not a fan.
Okay, well that's okay. That's acceptable. It's just, I don't know how I got on that. Who cares? We're talking about wild conspiracy theories. Okay, that's what I have. What is on your list?
Okay, so I don't have a list, but I have one old-timey conspiracy theory. Man. It's really a series of theories about one person and what could have happened to them.
We're going to title this Ye Old Conspiracy Theories. Go on, continue.
All right. So mine is going to be what happened to Edward II.
What did happen to Edward II?
So I'm glad you asked.
Oh, good.
For anyone who isn't familiar with him, Edward II was the King of England. His father, Edward I, was the king who fought the wars against Scotland to try to make it a part of England. I mean, that's simplifying it. But like, if you've ever seen Braveheart, this is the king and the prince, the bad ones. And so that's kind of the background. If you've seen Braveheart, they're kind of the people. He was very unsuccessful as king. Unpopular, whole series of issues with his nobility. It all boiled down to his wife ended up leaving England to go back to her home country of France and her brother's court. And she started living with her boyfriend, who was also in exile in France. And they managed to get enough support together to invade England and kick Edward II off the throne. And he abdicates in favor of he and his wife's son, who is named Edward too. So Edward III.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. And he is imprisoned. While imprisoned, he dies. The official story is that he got sick and died. Very simple. Just, one of those things that happens back in the Middle Ages.
But yet we can't possibly believe that that's what happened. No one just gets sick and dies.
No, that's impossible. Especially when they're an important person.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They have to be eaten by lizard people or something.
So this led to a whole series of different conspiracy theories about it. So the official line is that he just died. He got sick and died. They buried him. There was no official state funeral where people, got to view him and all that, which is kind of suspicious. So then people started saying that he was murdered on the orders of his wife's lover, boyfriend guy. This one's really popular now because, everybody loves the idea that, a king gets toppled and then is murdered in a dungeon in some castle out in the countryside.
Maybe it was King Charles since he's a vampire.
Vampire, yes.
No one has thought of that. Hello.
So there's that one. And then there's the story that he escaped, that he had some supporters who came and broke him out and he escaped. And that to cover it up, they just said he died. So to cover up that they had lost him. Why he wouldn't have, led an army to take his throne back, we're not sure. I guess we're assuming he just decided he was done. And then the last one is that he and his wife came to an agreement that he would go into hiding and just retire from the country. So it's sort of like he'd been toppled, their son was already crowned, he's just done, and he's going to go move to Italy and have his own life. So, which was it? Nobody knows.
I'm voting for vampire.
But some interesting things are, number one, the whole just dying. It could actually have happened because, people did just get sick and die back then. And they do now.
It still happens now.
It doesn't always have to be, some long
epic
lead
saga.
Up to it. Getting murdered, that's also perfectly reasonable because, there were a lot of emotions going on here. And I'm sure there were some hard feelings that weren't quite resolved yet. And then the next one where he's broken out and escapes. I mean, that one, I don't really get it because why would he just disappear if he had enough people to help him break out? But then the last one I find very interesting, that they came to some sort of agreement and he left of his own will. Because later on, during the reign of his son, Edward III was on the continent and he met with a monk who claimed to be his father, which sounds kind of odd.
Why would he do that?
We don't know. But the weird thing is that Edward III met with him and he seems to have possibly believed him. He didn't come out and say, this guy's a liar, he's a fake. He met with him and then he kept in touch. All weird.
It is odd.
And then the other thing that's odd is that his father was the very first Prince of Wales. His grandfather was the one who conquered Wales, and he gave the title to his son.
So the first English Prince of Wales.
The first English Prince of Wales. And Edward III never was named Prince of Wales because it hadn't become an inherited title yet. And if his father had been alive the whole time, it wouldn't have been available because his father just abdicated the English throne. He never gave up the princedom of Wales. So the weird thing is that Edward III didn't name his own son as Prince of Wales until after this mysterious monk who claimed to be his father had died.
Well, that's all very compelling, I must say.
So you've got the really easy one. He just got sick and died. You've got the really, one that all the tabloids want to be true, where he was murdered. You've got the unlikely one where he was broken out of jail. And then you've got he went into hiding, which is really sketchy, but has this strange incident later on. That
air of possibility to it.
It does.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I can see that happening. Again, another movie. Look, here we go again. People, I don't know. They keep making...
Would it be a multiple choice movie? Like one of those ones like Pick Your Own Adventure?
Yeah. You know those
on Netflix?
Those ads for like insurance commercials.
Yes.
It's like choose your ad experience. And I'm like, no one cares. Ad experience. Get out of here. But if it was something like that, yeah. Which one do you want it to be?
Yeah.
Alternate endings.
That could be fun.
It's like a make your own movie type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just have to make 3 different movies, and then you get to choose like 3 different endings to a movie. That's cool. That's a great idea.
And then you're like, which one do you want to do? And
how do you want it to end?
Yeah.
You get to do. Yeah, it's like have it your way.
So that's mine.
Whose tagline is that? Have it your way. Is that Burger King or is it?
Oh, I don't know.
There's some garbage fast food restaurant.
I strenuously tried to avoid commercials.
Oh, me too.
Me
too. Have it your way. Somebody uses that. Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter.
But yeah, that's my conspiracy theories or possible different.
Well, that's much more interesting
endings.
than mine, I must say. Thank you very much for that. I am truly enlightened at this point.
No problem.
Yeah. Wow. Do you have any more?
I'm sure I can dig some up, but that's all I had for today.
Okay. Yeah. Well, see, I feel absolutely foolish about my whole lizard people thing now. I thought that was a good one, but clearly
maybe
it was
they've
not.
been lizard people ever since then.
So yeah, I want to know where do these creatures originate?
When did they start?
Are they from Earth? Are they from space? Where are they? What?
Well, I mean, did
they teleport
the
here?
article start out with alien lizard people?
I might have said alien. I forget.
I don't know. Extraterrestrial lizard.
That's what it said. Extraterrestrial. Yeah. That's it. So that implies.
But yeah,
not
the question
from here.
is, if they are, when did they get here, and when did they take over? Who was the last real person?
Yeah, who was the first lizard person?
Yeah, who was the first lizard?
Did they build the pyramids and
so
all that stuff?
That we're talking about this.
We said it was a tinfoil hat edition, and here we are.
We warned you.
Yes, but maybe not strenuously enough. Anyway, that was an interesting ride. Well, this is kind of a shorter episode because we wanted to just kind of
for
mix
fun.
it up. It can get boring when you just do the same stuff all the time. But we'll be back next time. Our next Teen Shenanigans will follow kind of our usual pattern of just talking about the 2 morons.
Current events.
Out in California or wherever they happen to be, Nigeria. Okay, I am going to go off a little bit. You and I had not discussed their Nigeria trip, had we? I think that was Mustafa and I. Okay. Did you follow that at all?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh. Well, they went over there supposedly having to do with Invictus games, but Invictus was basically not ever even spoken of. And they basically were doing this whole like faux royal tour thing. Like, hey, look at us. We're still royals and whatever. It was so embarrassing. But I found it interesting because, of course, Meghan shows up in her extremely overpriced and not particularly attractive wardrobe. And people write extensively about it. But anyway, and she goes to Nigeria, which is a very conservative country. They go to a school, young children, and she's wearing this like nude colored backless dress, clearly no undergarments. It's so terribly inappropriate. And everyone's just like, what the heck is going on? And then there were a series of these very inappropriate outfits. And then after the quote unquote visit was done, some days later, the first lady of Nigeria gave this speech where she talks about Nigerian women, not being influenced by celebrities. And what does she say about how nakedness is not beautiful? And she even she says Meghan's name. And oh yeah, it was awesome. It was a proverbial beat down. That's what it was. So I thought that was interesting. And of course, in this situation, it's fantastic because Meghan and her minions, her little trolls or whatever, they can't come back and play the race card, the whole she's the is word thing, because she's a Black woman. She's a real African woman. Go figure. So they couldn't do that. So I can just picture Meghan hearing about this, perhaps hearing the clip or seeing it and just kind of being like, what are we supposed to do now? I can't call her. I can't do my usual thing, Anyway, whatever. I just thought it was humorous. Yeah, we're gonna have to do another episode where you're gonna have to read about it. We'll talk about it, and then we'll get on here and do another episode. Yeah, because there are updates to it. Also, I would like to say that it's been being put out there that Meghan is planning to launch her next product. God knows what that's going to be for her. What's it called?
Lifestyle line?
American Riviera Orchard. I had that out there on the day of Trooping the Color, because of course she would do something like that. She continually does things like that. Yeah, but we should take bets or something on as to what the next item is going to be. The first thing was supposedly strawberry jam in a basket with lemons and wilted flowers given to 50 people, but only, I don't know, maybe I think less than 10 ever acknowledged it. So we don't even know who the other 40 or whatever people were, and clearly they weren't interested. But anyway,
that's kind of sad.
Oh, she's getting exactly what she deserves. But what do you think the next product would be?
Oh, I have no idea.
To my knowledge, it hasn't been, spoken of yet. I could just be behind. I don't know. Let's see. Meghan Markle product. It's going to be like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Jam. What else could she do that would be like she's ripping off the royal family or trying to because she has a pattern. She copies people. She does what other people do. I don't know. I'm trying to think what it might be. If you have an idea, leave a comment. What do you think it's going to be? Those of you listening to our ramblings right now, what's it gonna be? I don't know. Another product that perhaps that King Charles sells at, one of his estates, or something that the palace, it's going to be, I guarantee you, it'll be something that the royal family is involved with or sells for charity or something. It's going to be something like that. I don't know if it'll be another food item or what, but we just wait and see. Or it's going to be something that has some tie-in or some relation to Diana. Oh, at some point that will happen, because she's a compulsive Princess Diana cosplayer. That's just, yeah. So it's definitely, I guarantee it's going to happen. But that's a fun little game we could play. Yeah. So leave us a comment. What's it going to be? And when and if she does
mystery basket,
something that has something to do with Princess Diana in her American Riviera Orchard lifestyle brand, what's it going to be?
We'll find out. Inquiring
minds want to know. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to know. Probably going to be something really cringe. But anyway. All right. That's it for this episode. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for spending your time. We know there's a lot of stuff you could be listening to. And the fact that you've chosen to listen to this, well, hats off to you, because you're a trooper. Anyway, this is our first, but hopefully not last, tinfoil episode.
Oh, yeah. They're so fun because they're not serious.
Yeah. Oh, it's tea and shenanigans. I hope it's never serious, but it's just
I know, time. But it's not. You don't have to feel bad about it.
No. No, of course. Well, except the lizard people.
And you don't have to worry about getting something wrong.
No.
Because it's not real.
Accuracy is not important here, because the weirder and the crazier, the better.
Yes.
Right? Okay. All right. Well, that's it for us today. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next time with, I said I was going to write it down last time. Dang it. For more gossip and nonsense from all corners of the royal globe. I got it. That's it.
Bye.